Hey guys, so this is just a quick brief video today about the paper one that was sat today for the Foundation tier for Edexcel, and just a few brief like little notes on how to prepare for papers 2 and 3. So I hope the paper went well overall. I heard it wasn't too bad of a paper from speaking to a couple of students. I heard there was some trickier questions on the paper involving stuff like the ratio with the pens question. That was on the higher tier as well, and I've heard that caused confusion even amongst the higher tier students. So don't worry about questions like that. They're always going to put on a couple of questions that are very tricky for the Foundation tier, and it's to be expected. They're trying to differentiate between grade 5, grade 4, and they'll always put a question like that on. So don't worry too much if you were stumped a little with that. There's always going to be one of those tricky questions on. So some of you might feel like this after today, but don't worry too much. Just make sure you're not procrastinator, man. Make sure you're still doing revision. I'd say a good aim is at least an hour every other night, or do consistent practice. Do at least 20-30 minutes a day. It's consistent practice for maths. That's what will push you over the line for a grade 4 or grade 5, especially if you're looking for a grade 5. Consistent practice is the key. So what can we expect from papers 2 and 3? Simultaneous equations, I believe that wasn't on, so expect a simultaneous equations question. It's one of the trickier topics, but the methods are always very similar for a simultaneous equation. You can either solve it by substitution or by elimination, and I'm going to have a video coming out for this later on today, guys, so if you need help with it, be sure to check that out. Rearranging formula, again, one of the trickier grade 5 topics. It's a difficult one because there's a lot of different formula you can rearrange, obviously. There's a lot of different ways you can ask it, but be confident in it. Revise it thoroughly, because it's an important skill. You need to be able to rearrange formula to solve equations, for example. So make sure you're confident with that. Bar and pie charts. I believe there's a little bit on bar charts today, but make sure you're confident with pie charts. This will come up, and it's a very easy 3 marks if you're confident with it. Make sure you're okay using the compass, using protractors and so on, because it sounds silly, but it's an extra 2-3 marks that can get you that grade 4 or 5. Venn diagrams, again, a grade 5 topic, so make sure you're confident with this. It's one of those. It's one of the new topics. It didn't actually used to be on the Foundation tier, so make sure you're okay with that as well. Angles and polygons. Make sure you can use the formulas to find exterior angles, and then know how to work out the interior angles. Make sure you know how to work out the number of sides of a polygon, stuff like this. Make sure you've got worksheets for all these topics, guys. If you need them, you can find them on websites like Maths Genie. Maths Genie is a brilliant website. Make sure you're using Maths Genie. Bearings and construction. So what I mean by that is the questions where you have to find locus of points. You have to do perpendicular bisectors, all these kinds of methods. Make sure you're confident using your compass. Make sure you're confident using your protractor. If you're not sure how to use them, just ask your teacher. It sounds silly, but don't feel embarrassed. Your teacher will not judge you. They will happily help you. Just make sure you ask. Make sure you're also confident with all algebra topics. So what I mean by this is everything that's going to be asked on the Foundation. So for example, make sure you're happy expanding 2 brackets or using FOIL or the claw method, whichever you've been taught. Stuff like factorizing. Make sure you know how to solve all equations. Make sure you're all confident with the rules of indices, all your rules. Make sure you're confident with the power of half as well, so that's just the square root. Other than that though, the algebra is not too much for the Foundation, so as long as you can factorize, expand, simplify and collect like terms, you'll be fine. But make sure you take a good look at all these topics, guys. They're gonna come up, with the exception of maybe one off this list. So make sure you're confident with all of these. Keep revising. Make sure you're doing consistent practice, at least 20-30 minutes a day, or do an hour every other day or night. And you've still got, I think it's around 10 days now till the next one. So keep revising, guys. Honestly, if you want a grade 4 or 5, you can easily do it. Just keep putting in that practice, and you'll be fine.